my question is of how long to keep, sort of following up with on the people who didn't attend and the people who did attend. So what should be the mix really of people who did attend and did.
Okay, good question. So webinar, following up the leads, how long should I be chasing
Yeah.
them? Follow-
Basing them, sequencing, yeah, etc.
Okay, cool. So again, there are no right or wrong rules. This is just from experience of doing webinars and events and stuff. But I would typically say 2 weeks. Uh, reason being is they've registered for it, and then within 2 weeks, they're probably going to forget about it or not even remember that they registered and didn't attend, etc. So I always look at it in three sections. So first is pre-event or pre-webinar, and then obviously post-webinar. Pre-webinar, always setting reminders as to why they should be attending, what are they going to be learning, and who are perhaps the guest speakers. Post-event, they're attendee or a non-attendee. Let's start with attendees. First off the bat, I'm going to follow up with them, not the same day, but I'd wait maybe 24 hours because they probably left the webinar, gone back to work, and that email just get lost in an inbox. But tomorrow morning at 7:36 a.m., they'll get an email from Neil, automate these and schedule this, but I want it to look real. Uh, Hi, George, you registered for the event. Here's the replay link, and here are the three things
Yeah.
that people took from this webinar. We're actually discussing these topics with our company. I'd love to put a meeting book link in to discuss this if this is something you're working on. So it's why did it happen? Thanks for joining. Would love to have a conversation with you. Or if you want to have a softer approach, is open question: what drew you to the webinar? Another follow up could be any particular resources you're looking for from this webinar. Or are you actually working on any of these projects, or what type of projects are you working on? And I'm trying to get them into here's the lead magnet and going into the conversation. 2 weeks and nothing's got, then I just put them in similar sort of approach with non-attendees. And it could sound like this. Hi, George, you read for the webinar. Looks like you weren't able to attend. No worries. Happy to say, here's a link where you can watch it back. I'll give you a shout back in 2 days to get your thoughts on the replay. 2 days later, give them a call. George, it's Neil from such and such. Saw that you didn't attend. Just wanted to know, was it anything particular you were looking for? So with non-attendees, they did have an interest, but perhaps it wasn't as important, or they just didn't have the time to talk about it, but they could be having a project. And it's a similar sort of cadence for the next 2 weeks. But know this, with all of those leads, whether you attended or you didn't attend, the next webinar that's coming up, I'm inviting those people. And as a first point of call in a sequence, I would call them to say, George, we've got another webinar happening next week. This is the topics. Would that be of interest to you? And they may say, yeah, potentially. And then I'd say, George, to save you some time, why don't I register you for the event? You'll just get the calendar invite and you can either watch live or you can watch the replay, but you don't have to do anything. Would that be more helpful for you? So now you're taking it off their plate and doing the reg for them. Mr. Layton, does that help?
Yes, yeah. I do some things, but not all. So yeah, it's good to sort of have your advice. Thank you.